So here we are for another look at some classic albums as Electronic Cafe celebrates brilliant music that's was having its 40th anniversary this year. And as I mentioned every other episode, I still pinch myself when I know some of these albums are 40 years old. The one I want to talk about now is the rather brilliant The Hurting by Tears for Fears. It was their first studio album, the debut album, and released on the 7th of March 1983. It did make #1 in its second week of release and was certified gold by the BPI pretty quickly after that, which is brilliant. It reached platinum status in '85. The album also entered the top 40 in several other countries, including Canada, Germany, and Australia. It's a loose concept album. It kind of focuses on things of child abuse, psychological trauma, depression. And despite all that sounding quite dark and scary, it had some incredible commercial success. It contains their first 3 hit singles, Mad World, Change, Pale Shelter, all of which reached the top 5 in the UK and the top 40 internationally. When Q magazine in 1999 reviewed the reissue, I think Andrew Collins from Q magazine said it's despite its occasional bum note, which I couldn't hear to be honest, The Hurting remains a landmark work, a highly emotional pop record at its simplest. And Bruce Elder further went on to say, from All Music, he noted that the album's success was due to its maker's ability to package some very unpleasant subjects, the psychologically wretched family histories of both Roland and Curt, in an attractive and sellable music format, and said the work is sometimes uncomfortably personal but musically compelling enough to bring it back across the decades. And that's the thing, that is the real thing about this album. 40 years on, it still sounds very relevant, very sonically enthralling.
Suffer the Children, Pale Shelter, Mad World, Change, what a debut album. As Andy said, some uncomfortable themes here, inspired by both Curt Smith and Roland Orzabal's childhood traumas and the Primal Scream Therapy Theories, the book by Arthur Janov. The album received mixed reviews on its release, but again favoured more highly retrospectively. The Hurting remains a landmark work, a highly emotional pop record at its simplest, but a record that has the ability to package an unpleasant subject in an attractive and sellable music form. The album was the beginning of the imperial phase for Tears for Fears, following this up in 1985 with songs from The Big Jail and 1989's magnum opus The Seeds of Love. Sometimes uncomfortably personal, but The Hurting is without doubt musically compelling.
And again, I know most of the people who have seen or watched our show will know this album very well because you're our sort of audience, but there's a lot of younger people that love our show, thankfully. And if they haven't heard this, they need to check it out. Absolute masterpiece. You know, can't believe it's 40 years old, but an album well worth checking out. As I say, this is The Hurting by the rather brilliant Tears for Fears.